Morning by morning, God wakens my ear.
The Lord God has opened my ear. I did not turn backwards.
I gave my back to those who struck me.
And my cheeks to those who pulled out the beard.
I did not hide my face from insult and spitting.
I have set my face like flint, and I know that I shall not be put to shame.
A reading from the book of Lamentations. The thought of my affliction and my homelessness is wormwood and gall. My soul continually thinks of it and is bowed down within me. But this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore I will hope in him. For the word of the Lord.
Yesterday, we remembered Jesus' suffering on the cross and his death. Today, we sit in the space between with the unknown as we anticipate Easter morning. Traditionally, the Saturday between Good Friday and Easter Sunday is a time when we think of the dead. Jesus is no stranger to human death. He has been there before us. Death is part of what makes us who we are, part of being human, part of being mortal and alive. On Holy Saturday, we remember those who have died and know them to be safe in God. Today is the time between what has happened and what is going to happen. When I was thinking about this, I imagined the first followers of Jesus, the disciples and those who walked with them and listened to the teachings. How must they have felt after Jesus' death? The Gospels don't tell us much about the time between the crucifixion and the resurrection. Luke says, on the Sabbath they rested according to the commandments. So we are left to imagine for ourselves. Perhaps, like many of us, they waited silently to perform the funeral rites, retreating into their grief. Or wailed and cried and held one another. Did they wonder what would happen next? We are lucky. We know the ending of this story, which we will hear tomorrow morning. Those who witnessed the first Easter did not know. In 2021, after a year full of stresses, the unknown and the unexpected, of not knowing, it may feel harder than ever to think of death. We may not be ready to reflect on who and what we have lost just yet. This is perfectly natural. Grief, in all its forms, is a nagging, uncomfortable thing. It brushes up against us, even when we are not ready for it. Like a sharp stone in our shoe or a paper cut on your fingertip, it draws our attention even when we do our best to ignore it. Many of us are grieving, not only for those who have died, but also for other losses we feel. Cancelled celebrations, missed events, some of us missing school and work and friends, some of us grieving for our own health, or that of those around us, and so much more. In the reading for today, from the Book of Lamentations, the author talks to us about the unwavering, constant love of God. Earlier in chapter 3, the author says, God has made me sit in darkness like the dead of long ago. It may be a little morbid, but the sentiment feels familiar. How many of us have been inside too much, cut off from our normal lives and our friends and family, waiting. But we are reminded in the reading, the steadfast love of God never ceases, even in the darkness, even when we are grieving. God is with us and comforts us. In the times when we know what will happen, and when we do not know, God's love holds us. Today, as you travel through the unknown world we face, in the quiet space between Good Friday and Easter Sunday, if you feel able, it may be good to take time to sit with your own feelings of loss and grief, and remember the words we have heard this morning. The Lord is my portion, therefore I will hope in him.